So the first movie was about Nazis living on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And this movie is about the hollow earth and lizard alien overlords.
Yeah, no, you got it.
How do they relate to each other?
They don't. There's no need to watch the first one in order to enjoy this movie. So let's talk about it. Iron Sky, The Coming Race.
The world as we know it ended in 2018. The war between the Earth and the Moon Nazis had led to all-out nuclear destruction. The last survivors of the human race made their refuge on the dark side of the moon. The exiled remnants of humankind made their new home in the former Nazi base.
We are going to head to the center of the Earth, which is apparently hollow, and hopefully find the one thing that can save my mom and basically the whole of mankind.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Garbage In, Garbage Out. I'm your host, Kelton, and joining me today, as always, is my amazing partner, Devon. How's it going?
Sup, bitches?
Okay, back in the mood, I see.
You have to be in the mood for this movie. Ooh.
It's a preview, I guess, to what all is about to come. But before we dive too much into that, just a reminder to everyone to please go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Give us a follow as well on Letterboxd, and go ahead and like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I mean, all of that really helps us out, helps spread the word, helps make this little endeavor just feel a little bit more meaningful. Am I forgetting anything, Devon?
Don't forget the Discord for Monday movie nights.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And we are actually going to be kicking off, I guess, Discord Monday movie nights in the Gigo server. Because why the fuck not? Let's do this.
Lone wolf this shit.
Finally break out onto our own. I'm glad that we can knock all of that off right up top, get that out of the way. Because, man, this movie is something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I really enjoyed this movie. What thoughts would you have about this film? How would you describe it to someone?
It is a mashup of genre tropes, and it's really good. It's really good. You gotta watch it. I mean, I cannot convey the movie.
I mean, I guess a good premise for this movie would be that the plot follows a group of nuclear Holocaust survivors who are living on an abandoned Nazi moon base that's located on the dark side of the moon. And then,
boarding a barely functional spacecraft, they travel into the nucleus of the hollow Earth in an attempt to recover the Holy Grail, of course, from a group of reptilian shapeshifters who are led by a Tyrannosaurus riding Adolf Hitler.
Hell yeah, air horn sounds. Blah, blah,
Wah,
blah,
wah,
blah.
wah.
Yeah. I mean, that is really the plot, I think, of the movie.
That's the movie. Good night.
You have to watch this movie to understand the plot of this movie and for this movie to actually seem entertaining. Because it is very much an entire package deal that you have to experience, which is bizarre because then of course it's like, well, how are y'all gonna record half an hour talking about this thing? And well, I mean, the short answer is fuck you, we do what we want. But I highly encourage everyone to go ahead and check this movie out, or at least give it a singular shot. Watch like the first 10 minutes or so, or watch like the last 10 minutes. I don't care, either part is going to be great. Watch 10 minutes in the middle, scrub forward, just you'll get a feel for it. And this is definitely a movie that you either love or you hate. I don't think anyone's gonna feel in the middle about this.
Yeah, unless they hate movies. So what did you know about this movie beforehand? Like what happened?
I didn't actually really know that much about the movie beforehand, and I kind of think that worked in my favor because I think that this is a perfect movie to watch if you don't have any expectations or context, because it's just stupid fun. But as I did do some very basic research into the film to figure out what led us to this point, it should be stated that Iron Sky, The Coming Race is a sequel to the first Iron Sky movie, which the whole plot of that film is about how there are Nazis living on a moon base on the dark side of the moon. So the sequel movie kind of takes you off 30 years later, and it's its own separate entity. And so this particular movie managed to get a budget of 20 million US dollars, making it the most expensive Finnish live action picture ever made, and it took 8 fucking years to make.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I can't imagine being the type of person who probably would like this movie if I was waiting for it for 8 years, because I can't imagine just waiting 8 years for any particular movie that's silly like this. Like, no sci-fi original movie is ever saying, coming in 2028, this film, it'll blow your mind. And so it really obviously suffered a whole bunch of production issues behind the scenes. They in fact went over budget in some cases, and they had to crowdsource like $600,000 to finish some of the special effects.
Jeez. They also came out later than it actually was supposed to come out, right?
Yeah, that's right. The first movie came out in like 2012. And so the second one, I think they were shooting for 2016, 2017.
Yeah, 2016.
And then it somehow just kept on getting delayed. Problems kept on occurring. And it actually just came out in January of 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say, and they proved everyone wrong. But instead, I think, you know, it bombed so hard at the box office. Like, it made less than $500,000.
Did it even go into the box office? Like, I saw nothing about this movie, like, anywhere.
Yeah, I think that it probably just came in some theaters. It definitely didn't get a wide release. I mean, it is still like a $20 million foreign film type of thing, but it just did not do well whatsoever. And so I think when it was stumbling out of the gate, they realized they're not going to spend money trying to push overseas that hard to get people to come and watch it. So it's very unfortunate.
It felt very like shoved into a box in a back of an office.
Maybe that was actually the delay, was that they were just trying so hard to focus on this movie that they were like, oh man, we got it all done. Fantastic. Done editing and everything. And then they just lost the movie. Or someone stole the movie from them, deleted all the other files, and held it ransom for like $500,000. And that's why they had to go
outsource.
Indiegogo. Exactly. Someone holds it captive and says, like, I'll reveal just exactly what the plot is, because this movie relies so much on spoilers and isn't just, you know, like massive set piece after massive set piece after massive set piece. No.
Only CGI.
Yeah. I mean, it just is such campy, very tropey fun, like what you said earlier. So I guess then, in lieu of doing an actual plot recap, let's just talk about 5 facts that we were a fan of with this movie. It's an alliteration, and I think that maybe this will help tease people enough into wanting to check it out. But everything else being said, we're inevitably going to be getting into some spoilers stuff. So if you want to watch the movie beforehand, before diving into this, do that, then come check back in on us. So catch y'all later. See you in a second. And you're back. Okay, cool. Wasn't that a great film? Weren't we right about everything? I completely agree. Thank you. It's been so long since we've talked. I forget what your face looks like these days. It's horrifying. we just don't communicate in the way that we used to.
Go shave that neck beard.
I met someone while you were out at the movies. I'm sorry. I just don't see us going the distance.
I'm going for speed.
Oh no. That's, oh God. You know that some like early 2000s guy in jorts got broken up with using those exact lines. Okay, so I'll kick things off, I guess. So the first fact that I was a fan of was the fact that we started on a fucking moon base 30 years after a nuclear holocaust wiped out the Earth. And so we're living on this moon base that's decrepit and small. It really feels like it's kind of a rejected set from The Expanse or something, of one of those low budget sci-fi kind of movies where it's clearly a warehouse but they've added enough fake walls around it to make it seem like it's this whole complex of sorts.
And of course, they have made their own religion slash cult around Steve Jobs, obviously, because who shouldn't worship technology in the future?
Right? I mean, like, no one's going to be building a shrine to Steve Wozniak, I guess. So, it only makes sense for it to be Steve Jobs.
Well, I mean, I think it's like all the Steves. So maybe there's been like multiple Steves in tech. I have no idea, but they're like, Steve Jobs was the first Steve. And their excommunication is just blowing you up with your phones. So,
Because why not? Why not? And it really seems like they wanted to do a parody with our main character, who is a woman. She breaks the door with a sledgehammer. It's very similar to like the 1984 Apple commercial ad. And so I think
I didn't even notice that.
I know they really were trying to just have it be, hey, this thing plays off of this thing, and we're stealing this shot, but we're not even going to allude to it. We're just going to blanketly steal it. So that way then you kind of know exactly how to feel. All right, great. We're going to go ahead and move on.
This is our vibe.
Exactly. There's a moon base. There's a Steve Jobs religious cult. It's a fucking great idea for where people are living. I really like that. What's one for you?
The Nazis that we saw in the first movie were actually ancient lizard people from outer space who
Hell yeah.
controlled the world. So the Illuminati is real. They are lizards. Thank you.
But surprisingly not Jewish. So that part of the conspiracy, I guess,
God
is
damn it.
completely off. 2 for 3 isn't bad.
And so they have this like mysterious liquid that regenerates them.
Yeah,
or
they're
whatever.
called the Vril, and then the mysterious.
Vrilia. It's
Yeah.
Vrilia. Race is the Vril, yes. So there were two brothers that are the original like colonizers or whatever. One was Hitler, and
Of
the
course.
other was his brother. Didn't really get a name. I think he's from the first movie. They kind of just skip over it.
I cannot emphasize enough. I have seen the first movie. Devon has not seen the first movie,
Yeah.
but we both saw the second. And we both, I think, had the exact same levels of enjoyment because they just did enough of a recap to catch you up to speed about what you need to know about this movie. And this movie is everything fucking cranked up to 11 of what the first movie was. So,
Yeah. But the second brother was apparently experimenting. Like, there's a scene where he is in Columbus attire. Like, he is.
he's a fucking Renaissance painter and just hanging out through the ages is
He's
just,
like, I'm gonna experiment with the Vrilia and stab it into an apple and see what happens. Then feed it to monkeys. Oh no, I made humans. Shit.
yeah, he gave it to monkeys who were his 2 favorite pets that were named
Yep.
Adam and Eve. Ooh.
Ha 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 ha.
So again, that
there
trope.
couldn't have been a Steve. Oh no.
Good God. See, that is one thing I guess the movie could have actually improved on, is that,
Made some gay monkeys.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like my 3
Yes.
favorites, Adam, Eve, and Steve. Then Steve died, and it just shows like the apple exploding in his hand. See? Apple, Steve. It's all coming together. Anyway.
Oh no, that was the first Steve. We should worship the monkey.
Hey, I mean, I could get behind that. Like, there have been some pretty weird gods throughout the ages, and I think, gay monkey Steve, probably not
Yes.
the worst overall.
Top of the list.
I don't know actually if he's the top or not, Devon. We probably shouldn't rush to judgment
Damn.
on him.
Damn.
The third fact that I really liked, before I forget, is probably just the overall ridiculousness of the movie. Like, it's hard for me to make jokes being like, oh, hey, what if they did XYZ? Because they do XYZ. Like, they do all of this ridiculous shit through the whole thing. The earth being hollow and how the Hollow Earth somehow then has its own sun, but then that sun is actually powered by the Holy Grail of all fucking things. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic movie. Like it has this dream logic to it of where you're not supposed to think twice. But it's not because, oh, it'll have plot holes, but because that's not the point of the movie. It's purely meant to feel, I think, like a roller coaster ride more than anything else.
It feels like they wanted to do Indiana Jones. They wanted to do Journey to the Center of the Earth. It felt like they wanted to do like just jokes on tropes. And they threw it all together in a fucking pot and actually came out with something good instead of a shit show. Like so many
Yeah.
other movies have done, you know?
Well,
So
it's because they still stayed self-aware and they still kept things silly. They knew what they were
Yeah.
making. They didn't
no,
get bogged
they
down
knew
in
what they were
this.
doing. Yeah. And they weren't trying to like do a serious storyline or anything. Like it was fun. It was fun.
They were just having a whole blast all the way through. I mean, like they have references to all these other kinds of movies throughout. They have a
Yeah,
whole bunch
that's what
of
I meant.
jokes happening. I mean, it's not like, they've forgotten the lore or where they came from. It just was something about where they all were just having a fun time. I bet this was a great set to work on. It's probably actually either like the best set behind the scenes or like the absolute worst, considering how much production trouble they had.
Yeah, and how long they had to be in it. Because you like
Reshoots, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That was 4 years ago. Why am I going in for reshoots? Wait, they want me to go in another 3 years later? Shit.
I remember when I was famous to do this cameo. Now it makes no fucking sense. God, why?
I'm losing money by doing this movie.
I mean, like they had I think trailers made like to like announce that the movie was getting made, and one of them featured Donald Trump in it.
No.
And, like,
Oh God, no.
I mean, I think that was coming like when it was still on schedule for like 2016, 2017.
Was
So,
he a lizard
haha.
man?
Well, I think that if I remember correctly, like that was like what the actual trailer was about. Was that, oh, look at all these people that are going to be in this movie, but you're not going to be in this movie. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, like it just like it did not work. It didn't work as well as this movie worked, I guess is how I would phrase it.
Well, good. He didn't ruin this. Number 2, we have our woke King Malcolm in the red lucky shirt.
Hell yeah.
Aha, the irony.
Yeah, he it wears that instead of armor, and that is probably one of my favorite bits in the whole movie. Is the fact that he has a very clean long sleeve red shirt at the beginning. Then as the adventure continues, he just has the shirt getting progressively more and more fucking destroyed.
I mean, it's not even like super destroyed, even after everything he goes through. Like, this guy fights a saber-toothed cat. This guy fights 2 dinosaurs. He just, well, doesn't fight, survives Steve Jobs, Hitler, and some other lizard people eating the cult members. What else does he survive? Like the burning ball of flame. Like
That chases them after they steal the Holy Grail. And that
yes,
weird,
the
like,
Indiana Jones of this movie.
It's an Indiana
Yes.
Jones scene set to Mario Kart music. Okay.
Yes.
How
Oh
can
my
you
God,
not
I
like
forgot
that
about
fucking
that.
movie? It's so good. It's so good. It's too pure for this world.
It is. It is. Oh my God. You can't even wait for number 1. Like,
Well, no, I mean,
best-
I think though that like Malcolm is like a wonderful play on the muscle trope that exists in these action adventure movies, and he's doing a very Rock kind of impersonation about where he's quippy and he's dumb guy funny, if that makes sense. But they give him enough of a weird, bizarre depth to him in that shallowness that then once they bring the Holy Grail back to the ship, or then they can power everything, and then what do you know, the place is going to be saved or whatever. Then when he's eating, it turns out that after surviving all of these horrible things and amazing things, it's fucking food allergies that takes him out. And you think, oh, this is going to be the end of this guy. How could this happen? And then what do you know? He comes back like a fucking Superman.
They're about to shoot him into space. Shoot him into space with like the dead lady. And he just pops out of his coffin. He's like, yeah, my body just goes catatonic sometimes. Don't know how many times my mother tried to bury me.
Which, I mean, that is, number one, objectively funny. Good on you, Malcolm. But number two, that is also objectively horrifying. Because you know, like, you finally get over your son having died. You bury him, and then he comes back just like it's some fucking scene from Pet Sematary all over again.
Also, plot twist, also best character ever. He's gay.
Yeah, he's got a thing for dudes. So that way then we don't have to worry about the obviously forced, but forced in a fun tropey kind of way love story that our main characters got into. I love this movie so much because we don't even need to fucking talk about the main characters. Like it doesn't matter. Like, watch the movie for the ridiculousness and you'll be fine.
Malcolm is daddy.
I think the number one reason, though, or the number one fact, the number one thing that I enjoyed about this movie is that at the end, in the mid-credits scene, once you have experienced all of the ridiculousness, that is when you find out that in this universe, the Soviet Union has gone on to colonize Mars, of all places. And that is the thing that it closes out on.
And there's just a huge hammer and sickle, like, out of buildings. And it is gorgeous. It is, immaculate.
It is something that I think we all should aspire to at one point. We all say that we want to have fully automated luxury gay space communism, but this is a possible way for it to happen. And it's just such a shame that I guess we're not going to get a third movie out of this. But I think that this movie is enough on its own that I can appreciate it in a vacuum. And I refuse to wait 8 years for the third one to come out. So it is with a heavy heart.
It was the best ending note if they're going to end it. Like,
exactly. And I'm glad that they left it where they did.
Yeah, they didn't try to, like, sneak anything in there. Like, well, I mean, the Soviet, like, Mars is kind of snuck in there, like, oh, maybe. But it's not forced, as in, like, we're doing a third movie if you people like this.
Yeah, I think in the world of sequelitis, this one's probably not going to get one. Because weirdly enough, somehow, this spectacular film that you and I enjoyed somehow got mostly negative reviews, with people saying that the characters were one-dimensional, or that the CGI fucking sucked, or that it had old dated jokes, or that the script was confusing, which, fuck you guys.
How is the script confusing? Like,
it's so simple as a script. It's very much point A to point B.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get these unintelligent people, how they could give this a 3.6 and a 3.8. Like, how?
This movie is panned pretty much across the board. So it's bizarre for me to be watching what everyone thinks is a very, very bad movie. And I'm watching it going, no, I genuinely like I don't know if that means that quarantine is like rotted my brain out from the inside or what. But I mean, I loved it. I had a blast.
It felt like it might have come out at the wrong time. Like, I know it was meant for 2016 and like it might have been a hit in 2016. I don't know. 2016 was fucking weird. And 2019 was kind of boring. Maybe if it hit 2020, we'd be like, yep, this could be a reality for us at this point.
Yeah, if this movie came out on Netflix we would be buzzing about it for the half of a week that we buzz about every new movie that hits on Netflix. Looking at you, lovebirds, I still can't remember anything more than the basic premise of that movie now. So fucking forgettable. This movie has stayed infested in my brain.
It's also been like 2 days, Kelton. Give it time.
I will never forget you. I will always remember the special times that we had. It's a fantastic film. So I know that this is where we would then normally go, oh, hey, so how would we improve this movie? How about we turn this a 10 out of 10? How could we make this movie like the best possible version of itself? And I don't really have anything.
I mean, we decided the Steve monkey.
Yes, okay. That is the one note. Fine. We will do that. Give me a fucking Steve Jobs monkey that gets its hand blown off with a physical apple. That's all I ask for in this world. That will make it a 10 out of 10. But
gay monkeys.
Do you have any more notes on this thing, Devon? Because, I mean, like, this has been a relatively quick episode. Not that I'm complaining or anything.
Very quick, but I mean, it was also very good and no notes. No notes.
No notes. We enjoyed every second of it. Stay true to who you are. We believe in you. All right. Well, I guess it's then time for plugs here. What are we plugging? I feel like we just did this, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, we did, but Discord. You go Discord. Come watch movies with us on Monday nights. We're going to start watching very niche, kind of out there, not seen too much type of things. We've decided since everybody else does the newest thing, so why not go backwards and fuck it up?
Yeah, absolutely obliterate our SEO. Basically, we're making it even harder on us because we have to figure out what's going to be popular. Then we have to find something that like bombed or wasn't good or it just is kind of semi-related to whatever is occurring either in the news or at the box office. And this is the movie we stumbled on. So,
like with this week, we figured everybody would be talking about Space Force because that just came out. So I was like, all right, what's space and niche and whatever? So looked up a bunch of stuff and stumbled on this gem of a project. Oh!
So here we are. Okay, I'm just going to stop myself right there. Also, go ahead, like us on Twitter, Facebook, and follow us on Letterboxd, and YouTube. I have some bizarre shit posts that are happening there. One video I had labeled Joe Biden shits himself. For some reason, that 5-second clip has been watched over 15,000 times. So thank you to those people. I always appreciate you. And then probably going to be doing some protester shit posts as things continue on. I think, though, that's going to go ahead and do it. Got anything left to say? Any closing thoughts, words, hopes, prayers?
No, I'm good.
All right. Bye.